Hey guys, so wanted to do a YouTube video today on cohabiting couples and where one of you own the property and then the relationship splits up, and what do you do? And I want to look at it from both sides. So the person who actually owns the property, how do you stop your ex from making a claim to the house? But also the person whose name isn't on the mortgage or isn't on the property, how can you make a claim, or are you entitled to make a claim? We'll start with the person who owns the house first of all. If you don't want your ex, in the event of a separation, to have a claim to your property, and chances are you're not going to want to, because the house is yours, you probably purchased it before the relationship, and you want to keep it should the relationship breaks down. Totally understandable. You want to be entering into what we call a cohabitation agreement, okay? A bit like a deed of trust. You're going to need to contact a solicitor. I do them. Cohabitation agreements, have one drafted, both of you sign it. And it's very clear then that if the relationship breaks down for whatever reason, they have no claim to that property. It's also very clear that if they are making a financial contribution throughout the relationship towards utility bills or even helping you pay the mortgage, that there is also no claim that they can make to the property. The other side is actually the person who maybe wants to make a claim or thinks they're entitled to a claim. So what I would say to that person is, have you made a major financial contribution? So it's got to be more than paying the utility bills or paying a token rent to your partner to help them pay the mortgage. And the reason for that is because if you were renting a place, well, you'd be paying that anyway to the landlord. So you haven't really made a significant financial contribution if you're just paying for the bills that you're using, the electricity, the gas, the council tax, etc. So that's the first thing. If you have paid into maybe, I don't know, significant improvements to the home, that's always the perfect example. So you might have helped your partner at the time to put new windows into the property, or perhaps put new central heating into the property. Something of significant value that's actually going to increase the value of the property, then yes, you can make a claim. It's probably never going to be 50-50 unless you've done major work. Like if you've bought something that's derelict and you've entered, put into the pot a lot of money, then it might be 50-50, but chances are it's not going to be a 50-50 claim. You're going to be looking at getting back what you paid into that property, because that house is in the other person's name, and ultimately they are legally responsible for making those mortgage repayments. You're not. The other way that you may be able to have a claim to the property, but only in the short term, or in the interim, I should say, not the short term, is if you've had children together. So if you'd have had children together, house isn't in your name, and you need help to rehouse those children, you may have a claim that you stay in the property until the youngest child is 18. For example, you don't make that claim under your name, you actually make the claim under the Children's Act on behalf of the children. Obviously, the children have to be your partner's children, because they are then legally responsible to help you house the children. And it might be that you don't get to stay in the property, but that your partner, your ex-partner, gives you a lump sum to purchase another property. Again, it would stay in their name, but you could live there until such times as the youngest reaches 18. Or it might be help to pay the rent on another property, because by virtue of the fact that your children are also your ex-partner's children and you need help to rehouse. So lots of different scenarios there. And I hope that's helped if you've just jumped in to get some, legal suggestions. I can't say advice, because obviously I can't give advice unless you're my client. But if you still have questions, or that hasn't quite cleared up your particular scenario, then I would really suggest that you get independent legal advice. And you can do that by either Googling your local solicitor, or you can drop me an email.